graphic novels that you finish and you run to your closest friend and go, dude, you have got to read this, it is awesome.
Yeah, you freak me out when you do that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I get excited.
I know.
Then there are other graphic novels that you quietly close and put on the table and stare into space for a good 20 minutes trying to work out how you feel about this.
Yeah.
Blacklung from Fantagraphics, well, it definitely falls in that latter category.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
Because it's a bit...
And there's...
And then...
No, we can't do this.
No.
We have to talk about it.
Okay, we do. Okay, so let's start with the story then, shall we? Use your words out.
Okay, I actually think we should start talking about the art.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah, I think
I'm totally okay with this.
Because the artwork that Chris Wright uses in this graphic novel, it's the first thing that knocks you sideways.
Yeah.
I think in this, it really does. It actually took me a while to get used to it.
Yeah, it is incredibly stylized, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I do know what you mean about it taking a little while. I think for me it was about 10 pages in before my brain started to recognize what was going on.
Yeah.
These kind of highly stylized characters with their bulky and misshapen bodies, patchwork heads. Yeah, it took me a while for it to actually sink in that, no, that's a human feature and there's a human emotion and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think the characters seemed even more bizarre to me because the backgrounds were almost naturalistic.
Absolutely.
You know, that really created something of a disconnect.
Yeah.
And what I found really interesting about using these, so, the bulky bodies and misshapen heads, it allows you to see some of the oftentimes quite brutal violence in this from something of a distance.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's extremely effective.
Yeah, now, you did mention the violence, so I think we do need to talk about the story.
It's quite a turnaround, isn't it? You wanting to get on with the storyline.
I know, but there's kind of a lot of it to get through. Okay,
go
so
ahead.
at the start, Blacklung is a story about two guys. You've got a rather pompous teacher called Isaac and a big gangster bruiser called Mose. Now, Mose is shanghaied onto a pirate ship and poor old Isaac kind of gets dragged along rather brutally.
Yeah, completely by accident.
Yeah.
Oh, it's bad luck day
bad
for
luck
Isaac.
day.
Now, up to this point, it's actually pretty straightforward, at least as far as the plot goes.
Yes.
But then we meet the pirate crew.
Ah, yes.
You've got kind of a first mate who has a bent towards existential philosophy.
Awesome.
You've got a mad priest. You've got a syphilitic psycho called Sweeney.
Terrifying.
Who takes great joy in torture.
Yeah.
And then you've got the captain.
Ah, the captain. Captain Brahm. He's a very interesting character. He's kind of taken on the pirate life in order to blacken his soul so much that he is guaranteed entry into hell, where he feels he will be reunited with his loved ones.
Yeah.
It is a colourful cast of characters, to say the least.
Yeah, it really is.
What I really love about that is that every single character changes throughout this book. They go on this amazing journey and no one character is the same.
Isaac, in particular, when he's taking down the memoirs of the captain, he is a very changed man by the end of this journey, which is very interesting to see the progression.
It is a fascinating journey.
It really is. I mean, this is a complicated book with musings on, as we said, philosophy, literature, morality, religion, especially is a big
one in religion,
focus. Talk about Milton and Paradise Lost, all this really quite in-depth backing and forth thing. It's honestly, it's hard for me to describe this book. I mean, even after having some time to think about it, I think I'll need to read it again before I really know what I feel about it. I mean, all this highbrow stuff mixed in with this visceral violence.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I've read it twice now, and I still don't quite know how I feel about it. It kind of preys on my mind, and it has done for a few days. The disconnect between the beautiful stylized artwork and the viciousness of the characters and the violence, it kind of puts a disturbing note in your brain, but I tell you what, it's one that I'm quite happy to have and think about for a while yet. I still just, I don't know, I can't explain how I feel about this book.
Yeah, look, I don't know what else to say about this. This is quite a stunning graphic novel debut. For Chris Wright, because he's done other comic stuff, but this is his first graphic novel. So, very impressive debut. Not much more to say other than this is definitely a buy.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a buy from me as well. Look, I do recommend, if you decide to read this one, set aside a couple of hours so you can actually read it from beginning to end in one sitting. Yeah. For me, the first time I read it, it was kind of broken up. Second time I read it all in one hit, and I think that worked a lot better.
You can sink into the world.
You can sink into the world. Yeah. It is such an interesting, intriguing, and amazingly drawn world. Do yourself a favour and do check out Blacklung.
Creepy, though.
Creepy. Creepy pirates.
Yeah.